Well, the weather outside is hardly frightful, but believe it or not, it's winter, and that means high school basketball. Casey O'Neill, along with the sports Dr. Keith O'Brien and the Game Day crew, will be bringing you live high school basketball action. Now, our brand of March Madness culminates right there. Waterford High School in March with the boys' semifinals and finals of the ECC tournament. But before we get there, we've got a full slate of action live on Game Day, starting with what game?
We're starting on January 5th, Casey. We have the New London Whalers right here to take on the Waterford Lancers.
Now, when you're talking about the New London High School Whalers, freakish athleticism, but who's going to start?
Coach Craig Parker has a challenge this year. 5 brand new starters for the Whalers this year. And coming off a season last year where they went undefeated in the league, Casey. A lot of challenges this year for Coach Parker, but I'm sure the kids from New London will be up for the task.
Well, if you're going to talk New London, you got to talk about a major problem, and that's Major Roman. He's a Player of the Year candidate in the ECC. We don't know who's going to get him the ball, how they're going to get him the ball, but we do know that New London is freakishly athletic, and they might press you right out of the gym. And Coach Parker's as good as they get at strategy and game planning. We're going to wait and see what that has for the Whalers.
Right, and as for the Lancers on game one, they have brand new coach Bill Bassett will rely on his deep shooting guards to make some waves this year in the ECC and then for a hot season.
When you talk Waterford, another possible Player of the Year candidate, Landon Peabody. Now, he's going to have a great supporting cast of guards, but Waterford High School will have a huge test right off the bat. Can they break the pressure and, more importantly, dethrone the kings of the ECC, New London?
I'm sure that Waterford would love to be playing in those games on March 4th and March 6th right here, Casey.
Now, our second game of the year, very interesting. We're going to go over to Groton, to Fitch, where they're going to host the Ledyard Colonels. Now, what can we say about those two teams?
Geez, Case, Fitch is very, very good this year. Eddie Volkers, a breakout season last year in the league, and they are looking to make some noise and possibly contend for an ECC large title.
Volker's one of the other Player of the Year candidates in the ECC and someone to watch, and he'll be having to do a lot of different things against a very athletic, if inexperienced, Ledyard team.
Yeah, now Ledyard is another team. 5 brand new starters for Coach Dave Cornish. But you know what? Make no bones about it. Ledyard's going to run, they're going to press, they're going to create offense off of defense and play that Ledyard style of basketball.
Now, we're not just about the boys here at Game Day. We're going to bring you girls basketball as well. The perennial powerhouses, the NFA Wildcats. As you sit here watching, they've already won a holiday tournament, and they'll be hosting another great team from the state of Connecticut, Mercy.
Casey, outside of Gino Oriema, I'm not too sure who's got more brass in the state than NFA girls coach Bill Scarlatta. It's not his first rodeo. He returns Sabria Outlaw, ECC Girls Player of the Year this year. NFA looking to make some noise again this year, not only in the league, but in the state as well.
Outlaw's committed to play for Central Connecticut, and she might be one of the state's best players. But more importantly this year, there's a supporting cast. Burke and Connolly lit it up in the holiday tournament, giving NFA a championship. If they want the big prize, they're going to have to do the same thing throughout the course of the season. The NFA girls aren't the only ones in their school that know about championships. It was only 2 seasons ago that the NFA boys brought home the ECC crown, and we're going to have them right here at Waterford High School.
Yeah, third-year coach Chris Giusti would love a return trip here to Waterford High School and challenge for another ECC crown. He's got a terrific sophomore class, Casey, and a whole bunch of young kids ready to make some noise in the league.
Now, that's going to be a tough challenge because this veteran Waterford team with those guards, Mikey Bassetto, Kevin Johnson, Landon Peabody, and who else? The stat guru, Mike Giannakis. They're all part of the Waterford veteran leadership. That could be a tough task for NFA.
Yeah, then you mix in the Energizer buddy, Jeff Evans, who's just an absolute beast on the boards. He can knock down a short-range jump shot, makes Waterford a very formidable team this year.
And then maybe the game that I'm most excited about. We saw a great high school football rivalry develop between Bacon Academy and Ledyard, and now they're moving it onto the basketball court. Peter Gazibwe, Sean Kelly, Paul Chassie, those football players that made the first state appearance for Bacon, who knocked them out? Ledyard High School. Well, can they bring that energy onto the basketball court?
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Bacon Academy, not only a force on the football field, but obviously one of the teams who everybody's talking about in the league. Head coach John Shea has done it all. He's played basketball, he's played baseball, he is leading his squad this year into a very, very tough league, Casey. Bacon can be a tough out this year in the league.
the Shea family, royalty in the sports world in Colchester, and Bacon Academy, led by another of the ECC Player of the Year candidates, guard Jimmy Matos. He can absolutely fill it up. They made noise last year in the ECC tournament. They're looking to go all the way this year, and it's going to be very challenging against an inexperienced, but we know very athletic Ledyard team.
Well, you talk about guard play, Isaiah McNair, Isaiah Campbell, and a few other surprises that Dave Cornish may have up his sleeve over at Ledyard. That team, again, 5 new starters, but they're going to get after it on defense, they're going to turn you over, and you know what? That could possibly be, Casey, the game of the year in the ECC.
Well, if it's not that game, it's our final game of the year. Now, Ledyard High School, if they don't have the best players, we find out. They do have one of the best nicknames. Tune into Game Day to find out just what that is. But the game of the year over the past few years has been our final game of the season.
Everybody's talked about New London and Ledyard. Casey, last year, the New London Whalers undefeated in league play, undefeated in the regular season, and looking to continue that. And we saw the game last year. Packed house at Ledyard High School will be the same this year when New London goes into Ledyard.
So we're going to bring all of those games to you live on Game Day, on theday.com. We'll also bring you the boys' semifinals of the ECC, the boys' final of the ECC, and the girls' final of the ECC. So that'll be a championship time on theday.com. Now, the only thing I have left is, do you know what to do with that thing?
I mean, I can shoot a 3 or I can show you my Kelly crossover.